What time is it? Fight!
Welcome to the MMA Podcast.
Check this out.
Get all the latest news, interviews, and stars of the MMA world. Hosted by yours, John Boy McElroy. So tune in, everyone, right here to the MMA Podcast.
Hello and welcome to another edition of the Martial Arts Chat podcast, and in this episode we have a real treat for you. We're covering exclusively the BAMMA23 event at the Barcarlaycard Areana in Birmingham, and it's being billed as a night of champions, and we'll be speaking to those champions and challengers ahead of Saturday's fight card, so get yourself settled for this one. First up on Martial Arts Chat, we had returning to the show Paul Craig. Paul was coming off a second round submission over the undefeated Carl Moore and had now put himself in line for the next title challenger for the 205-pound division against Marcin Ben Lazars. So we caught up with the Bear Jew and talked training camps, beards and title shots.
This is gonna be one hell of a show!
So continuing on our BAMMA23 edition of Martial Arts Chat, we welcome back to the podcast title challenger for the light heavyweight crown, the undefeated Paul Craig. And Paul, it's a pleasure to have you back on Martial Arts Chat podcast.
Always a pleasure to have this chat with you. You're a lovely guy.
You're a very nice gentleman yourself.
We've spoken to this before. You've got the best radio voice out there. It's beautiful.
Do you think it's too cheesy? Do you think do you feel like I'm putting it on here?
No, certainly not.
Certainly not.
I mean, it's better than Callum Hunter's, sure. Yeah, sure. Callum Hunter comes across as really posh. Yeah, sure. Well, the guy did a punch.
He very much dots his I's and crosses his T's.
He does. I think he does it with a love heart as well.
Is it? That's it. Well, moving on to BAMMA23, Birmingham. It's just over a week now, Paul. And how you feeling leading up to your title shot? Training been good, and how's the weight cut and things like that been for you?
No weight cut needed. Training's been great. It's great having two fight camps back to back. There was no going halfway down the hill to come all the way back up to the top. I was at the top and I decided to go up another top of the mountain. So it's been good. Cardio was on point, so we've just been keeping up the 5 mile runs a day. Everything else is just maintaining. Not really worked on anything specific. We know what we need to do.
Last time we had you on the show, we were talking about how you never look at your opponents. That was Carl Moore. I guess if this fight's a title fight, does that change at all, that philosophy, or is it still very much you're doing your own thing and just bring on your opponent?
I still don't research my opponents. I don't see the point in it, but I did actually see Martin Lazar fight against Brett McDermott in BAMMA23. It was on the same night as Mayweather, so I'd watched that before and then watched the Mayweather fight. So I have seen him fight before, but you know that way, I never took anything in. I know he's a big athletic guy, like all the guys at this level and this weight class. So,
How do you rate the Polish fighter? Like you said, he is a big, powerful gentleman. How do you rate his game, and how do you see this fight going down?
For what I've seen, it's going to be a war. He has nothing that scares me, but I know he's going to be tough, as all Polish fighters are. They like that, the 3-round war, so that's what I'm imagining this. I'm imagining blood. I'm imagining it's going to go to the decision. Nah, we'll never go to the decision. I'm going to make sure it doesn't.
You made a lot of predictions last time we had you on. You predicted you would finish Carl Moore, and you certainly did that. And you predicted that come November you'd be fighting for that light heavyweight title. So, any predictions for this? Then you're saying you're looking for a finish. How do you see? Particularly, do you see a grappling finish? You know, look, going back to your most recent fight, it was some hairy moments in that first round with Carl Moore. I mean, admittedly, he did have your back, and it wasn't looking too rosy. Second round, you came out and you obviously got that guillotine finish. Let's just go back to that fight for Carl Moore. What was going through your mind when he had those hooks in and once he had you back in that first round?
When he had that good position, he was trying to get that Captain America. I know that my jiu-jitsu is very, very good. It's one of my strongest points. You know, that and wrestling, I can. If I want to defend and stop somebody from taking me down, I can. If I want to take them down, I'll decide when it's going to go there. So I had never ever dealt with taking a southpaw down. Not a lot of them about there. So when I'd taken him down with my single leg, he hooked me, flipped me over, and I was like, you know what, I'll give him a back up. But I didn't know he was an experienced grappler myself. So when he was on my back doing that, I'm just worrying about, like, you know what, 2-on-1, protect the hand. Don't worry about the pain. Don't worry about that. Just get the position, and you know. But I could hear in the corner of my corner and shouting 10 seconds, like 2 minutes into the fight. And after the first sort of 10, 9, I was like, those lying kids, man. So, yeah, so I put that down here. I didn't get a proper warm-up. We get moved in the card, hey, BAMMA.
We're kind of reshuffling your fight. What was going on there?
I've no idea. That fight, I said this before, that fight should be headlining anywhere. The best guy in Scotland against the best guy in Ireland at light heavyweight. Both guys had something to lose. That fight was a headlining fight, but unfortunately we were like 7th or someone like that. We were not even on the internet. So I didn't get a good warm up. I came out after I'd done my sort of getting my hands wrapped. I'm standing outside of the arena just waiting, and I'm watching a fight and I'm thinking, man, this is like at least 5-10 minutes I could be warming up. So when I went out, I was cold. So that first round was my warm up, and then second round I was like, we're not going to be doing this again. This is that's 2 rounds. That's breaking my record. So I went in, pinned him up against the cage, and if he wanted to stand, I was happy to stand with him again because I knew the body kicks were doing some damage. Myself and Brian take some time, watch the fight, analyse where we went wrong, where we went right, and then that's what we work on. So rather than working on, this guy's going to do this in your next fight, we work on what did you do wrong in your last fight. So
look to can improve it that way. And with your grappling game, is that a game plan? Is that something you're looking to utilise when you look to take the BAMMA title?
If it's there, I'll take it. You know, that way I never pass up a submission, as soon as I never pass up a big right hand to take somebody's head off. I would love to display this, like, you know, a stand up that I keep saying about, and you get a brief insight to it. But it was mostly kicks because I seen the kicks were doing damage. So this one I'd like to stand and, you know, get the big right and the left hook going because they've got some power in them.
Yeah, it would certainly leave a statement, especially if you're taking the BAMMA title. I'd like to probably ask maybe the most important question of all. It's nothing to do with the BAMMA title, nothing to do with your undefeated record. It's to do with your magnificent beard, sir. Last time you were in Dublin, was it the Box, I believe? Was that the place you sorted out? It was quite good, it was looking good. Have you played pleased yet?
I was, so I'll tell you what had happened. I got a cracking cut for the Box, you know, cut the top out, shaved the beard, made me look handsome. And then I'd said to him, any chance you could put me in touch with somebody in Scotland? So if there is anybody who's good at cutting beards, please get in touch. So I went to this place. I'll not name any names, right, because they're quite established. And the guy says, so what you want done with your beard? So I say to him, I'm just looking for a trim. Just take all the flyaways away. So the guy then starts, and you know what I'm watching? And I'm thinking, what I see, got a razor, and he's like, zzz, 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 and he'd taken at least an inch of my beard off. And you know, I'm not one of these guys who goes in places and like, you've messed up my beard. I demand to speak to the manager, so I'm not like that. So I was like, he's just like, do you like it? I was like, yeah, I like it. So I go out after and I meet up with my partner, and she says, do you know your beard's cut, Squint? And I go, what? So he'd cut at 2 different angles.
It was almost like a pointy wedge.
It was like one side was really sharp, and the other side was kind of just a nice wee gradual incline.
That's kind of the Brian Ebersol look, isn't it? It's just like get some dodgy facial hair going.
Yeah, so I looked like you know that way when you're like speaking to a dog and it kind of turns its head. So you come by that, I had to walk about with it, turned it the other way. Hey, your beard looks good, didn't it?
That'd make it interesting for sparring. People are trying to throw those shots to the chin and they're just gliding one side and landing clean on the other.
It's all beard. My coach, he's a bit dirty like that, Brian. See when we're grappling, he pulls my beard and uses it as like a lever, like so he grabs and gets a fair hold to it, and then he'll like, pull me into his guard and like put on a triangle.
I'm sure there's probably a name for that. Beard grab is probably not.
I know. You know, so Mark Lazar's not getting any hair, but I imagine he'll at least want a stroke of the beard at least. That.
You would think so. Well, speaking of that, you went to the Box, you went to Dublin, and that was a great cut. You got a guy in Birmingham. Is someone going to sort you out when we see you down in BAMMA23?
See, I don't even want to. I'm going over to BAMMA24 in Ireland, so I'll just save my cut and get it done over there. I'm just scared to let anybody touch it. Like, I never trust a guy who cuts your hair who's not got a beard himself and a razor and that. So
you want to see what he gets his done, I suppose, if he's doing it himself then.
Well, the guy in Boxer is obviously in that sort of circuit where like all these guys are cutting beards and looking smashing. But from that, you know, somebody had obviously seen that and went, this guy's got a cracking beard on the internet, and I get sponsorship through that, through the Dapper Jet, who sent me some beard oils and all that kind of stuff, and it's like some of the best scented beard oils about there. I've put a few videos on my... I've done a few videos on my like my page there, but it's some good oils.
Excellent. Well, let's go back to some more serious chat. We said obviously BAMMA title, you're feeling good for your weight cut. No weight cut at all. In fact, you're just continuing with back-to-back training camps. You're looking forward to taking this title. Unfortunately, Bain wouldn't talk to martial arts chat, but maybe you would like to give him a message come fight night.
He wouldn't talk, isn't he? He was like he just never got back.
He wasn't interested.
So this like, at least 50% of this is all about the chat, where we do it and we build up a reputation. And selling a fight is this whole thing, you know. You see Conor McGregor doing it, you see guys like Mayweather doing it, and I think it's a bit disrespectful, you know, just to say, nah, I'm not speaking to you, especially because you're from Scotland. And then that's it, you never get a chance to hear your voice, like, oh.
It's a good broadcasting voice, so.
It's one. Can you, should we go? Let's see your beard.
If I had to do a beard, oh man. So I've got to play with my beard. I'll try and do this, but people can't see. I'm giving my little 12-year-old boy stubble a wee stroke there. Permanent going on. So I don't know, you've got the deep gravelly tone, sir, so I'd have to say something like, "Can't get enough of your love, baby." No, that's not Go ahead, let's see your best, John. Right, go give us it.
Okay, guys, we're here with the MMA podcast here, so let's do it. Let's get on. There's a few Hadoukens in there as well.
You like that Street Fighter, don't you? You love that shit. You look more like a Zangief type of guy than a Ryu, I must say.
Zangief is like a thumbs up, thumbs down. He's like thumbs to the side. Aye, so he's like thumbs up.
So there you go. We have to see you wrestling bears now for your next training camp in Russia.
Yeah, you've seen some of the guys in here who are wrestling. Some units, man. You've got big Mark McGoldrick, right? I'm going to talk about him because like he's a light heavyweight, and he lost the passion for fighting MMA, and I've never seen somebody just beating somebody. And I caged this before. When I watched his fight, I was like, holy. And see wrestling with him and sparring with him and all the extra work he's coming in, help me with it. It's something else. He flings me about like a wet tracksuit. He is a barrier boy. So going with bears, the bear with the bears. So I.
Beardew rolls with the bears, sounds good.
He does. We've got Chris Devlin as well, who's a bit of a unit as well, and it doesn't matter if you get a takedown on him, he'll always roll you for some reason. It's like, it turns into like one of the gator rolls, you know, when they grab you and they get you in their death roll and they just keep fucking rolling.
Everything's tightening up.
Aye. So there's bears in here, and for sparring, wrestling, jiu-jitsu, man, there's some big units in here. And we get quite a lot of new guys coming just to spar because we've got like the bigger MMA guys in the area.
Yeah.
They're obviously big guys out with the west of Scotland, but all the guys in this area come to this gym, and I think it's because Brian is doing such a good job.
Yeah, there's certainly a lot of big time fighters, like you said, coming down this neck of the woods for Coatbridge. But just finally, once again, thanks very much for giving us your time on Martial Arts Chat. Best luck come the 14th November. One last question: we don't really get to see you much in your Scottish attire, but we love seeing your kilt. Is it going to get dusted off come BAMMA23?
So the kilt should have been dusted off. The kilt was actually sitting there ready to go out in Ireland because, you know, I'm very patriotic. I want people to know where I'm from, and know that, you know, that cheesy other thing that Scottish guys do. Don't be doing any of that. But I quite like the kilt. It's nice and breezy. But for some reason, you know, when they're rushing you about and those guys saying, "Oh, well, if you're not ready in 2 minutes, you're no fighting," like, shut up. Yeah. Who are you? Just beat it. So the kilt will be on. So that's what I'm going for.
Excellent. Well, we look forward to seeing you on the 14th of November, BAMMA23 for that light heavyweight title. Thanks very much for again and joining us in Martial Arts Chat.
Always a great laugh when we have the Birmignham on the show, and good luck to him come Saturday. Next up, we move to the bantamweight division, where Ed King Arthur would make his first defence of his title against the experienced Shea Walsh. We caught up firstly with Shea in Thailand via the magic of Skype, and he gave us his thoughts on training camp, title fight preparations, and his predictions for Saturday.
We've got 2 supreme fighters lined up.
You know, with Tiger Muay Thai, obviously a large part of this training camp, I imagine it must be difficult being away from your family and things. How you finding training so far from home?
It's difficult. I mean, I've been coming out here for a couple of years now, which always meant leaving my missus. Yep. She came out with me for a few months, which was real fun. But I've just had a baby, so it's not easy leaving so early. But it's nearly over now. Just a couple more days, and then I'm back home to see them. I'm going to win this belt, and then looking forward to spending some time with them and having Christmas and all that.
That'll be really good. Yeah, what a Christmas present that would be, right? I guess. I hear that still rainy season, but it looks like that's kind of calming down over there. Certainly, I'm back in Blighty. It's always rainy season, but not the same as it is in Thailand. Has that been something difficult to contend with? Has that affected your training, getting outdoors and things like that?
No, I mean, it's not affected my training at all. Like you said, the rainy season's coming to an end now, and it's the weather's actually been quite nice for the last couple of weeks. It doesn't affect my training. It's just sometimes when it comes really, really heavy. So it's just sometimes you might have to set off a couple of minutes earlier to get to the gym, because you might literally sometimes you get to the end of holds